comes to rain in Florida. We've also got Tampa up there. So look at Tampa. We've been talking about all the rainfall that we've been getting in the area. I feel like going all the way back to July. And when you tally it all up here, very wet. August, third wettest August on record, 16 and a half almost. And then we take a look at Tampa for June, July, and August. So that's your summer months. And now we've got the fifth wettest on record. 34 and a half inches of rain. The wettest 43, going all the way back to 1945. So, tremendous rainfall. And yesterday we can really track the remnants of Erica that were sort of injected into this area. Just a lot of tropical moisture out here. We've got today, tomorrow, and Thursday, still thunderstorms in the forecast for us in Tampa. You can see what's happening right now on the radar. We've got all of this rain, showers and thunderstorms right offshore, so close to the beaches. They're keeping you off the beach in clear water because you see the lightning out there in the distance. So we got a lot of rain going on. Some of that may work onshore. A lot of it likely to stay offshore, though, right over the water. Is just keeping you, off your boats today there in the water. 1 to 2 inches of rain still possible, though, especially right across northern and central Florida, Tampa, Orlando. Again, another day with some showers and thunderstorms. Miami, not so much, right? Not so much for us. We're going to stay dry, temperatures in the 90s. This is where we need the rain, and we're not going to get it. Another spot hard hit with rain yesterday was, let's talk about the rain coming in, Chris, because it's amazingly going to be well placed to the areas that really need it. Seattle, we've got rain, and just plain old rain. I know, I hate to wish your summer away for you here, but it has been a long, hot, and dry summer. And really the only other rain we had in August, Seattle, was from thunderstorms that had lightning. It was not good for the fire situation. So this is a nice pattern to be in, considering the dry and the fire situation we got going on. Dry break on Wednesday, and then we've got rain coming back on Thursday. Here's what's causing all that. Dip in our jet stream, moisture coming in. There'll be some disturbances that work with this moisture to bring us some rain. Another key part of this forecast is that we keep it pretty cloudy, and so that will also help to suppress the heat. Again, just trying to keep those relative humidities up so that we are able to help out with the firefight with the weather. So 1 to 2 inches of rain possible, maybe when you get some help from elevation. Otherwise, it should be less than an inch, but at least it's some rain. And then we're going to see this pattern continue here as we get just through the next couple of days into the weekend as well, Chris. So I know it's not ideal weather-wise, but for outdoor plans, but it's great for the firefight.
But that ridge you were just showing.
Well, that means business in the east.
Yeah, that's a different deal. Big pattern.
So the tropics remain very busy in the Pacific, in eastern Pacific. We've got another one on the docket. This is TD, or Tropical Depression 14E. It is close to becoming Tropical Storm Kevin. That would be the next name on the list. And we'll likely see it later today. Winds right now at 35 miles per hour. And the convection or the thunderstorm activity, not that organized just yet, but it's starting to. So let's track it out for you. It is expected to be a tropical storm later on, but then really doesn't have the potential to get much stronger than that, maybe 45 at max 50 miles per hour. Once it continues that trek off toward the north, it will encounter some cooler ocean water temperatures. We kind of use 80 degrees as that threshold, and so it hits some cooler ocean water temperatures, but the moisture from it will track up here over the Baja of California and potentially into the southwestern U.S. So take a look at that. That's what's interesting about this forecast, as we see the moisture just tracking that mid-level moisture all the way up here through northern Mexico into Arizona, also into New Mexico, and then tracking up here into Colorado, and potentially you might be able to trace a link from that moisture all the way up into Minnesota by the end of the weekend, Chris.
Jen?
Yeah, big news, of course, with El Nino this year, and we're continuing to follow the story here at the Weather Channel. And the big question is, will this year be a record-breaking El Nino year? So there's a lot of indicators to look at. The most important one is what's happening in the sea surface temperatures. So we look at the sea surface temperature anomalies, and there's different regions that you can look at in the Pacific Ocean. The one region specifically that you look at for El Nino is called the 3.4 region. It doesn't matter. What matters is that difference in temperature above average, and this past week has been significant. They measured a 2.2 degrees Celsius above average difference, and that is significant because it is the warmest August weekly average above degrees above average on record. And when you look at El Nino's records, aren't the longest period of record. It goes back to about 1950, but still significant in our time frame in considering what we have to work with data-wise. So the modeling keeps saying that we are going to have this record El Nino as we get into the fall and winter months, and typically that's when you see the record numbers. This is the European model forecast. This is a track of where we've been so far, and then we've taken all the ensemble forecasts, all the different iterations, and just put them in a graph so you can see the range that we could possibly be. All predict some version of El Nino and some potentially up off the charts. But you know what? That's been the thing last year. You look at 2014, predicted as strong El Nino, observed was a fairly weak El Nino. Back in 2013 in August, the models were predicting a decent El Nino, and it was barely an El Nino. And then you go back to 2012, same thing. So if you want to believe the models this year, it would be certainly and very strong El Nino. But one thing to ask, Chris, is what are the animals saying?
Right.
And there are animals like some of the seabirds that are up near Monterey. They normally be found much farther south. Sharks, whales, all found maybe 1,000 miles more farther north because there's warmer waters farther north.
There's a sign right there.
There's a sign, yeah.
All right, we're also a sign that